Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the railway. Now today's video is a little bit different and it's something that's been asked of me many times, and it's a very simple idea actually. The basic idea is just show some Thomas locomotives. So what I've decided to do today is just to make a video showing not all but some of the locomotives that you might see in Thomas and Friends as they would have appeared in real life, you know, the locomotives they were based on. Now very kindly a chap called Custard Timeboard sent me a nice list of Thomas locomotives and their real life counterparts, and I've done some research of my own as well and found some more, so I've got quite a good sizable list of Thomas locomotives. But I'm going to start off with the man himself, Thomas, and he's coming towards you now, and yeah, I thought I would show you the locomotive that Thomas was based on. There we go, hopefully you can see him okay there. So yeah, this is Thomas of course, and I'm going to show you the locomotive that Thomas was based on just a second. But yeah, let's have a quick look at Thomas just to point out the obvious bits. Notice the front of the cab of course there, you can see the circular windows of course, pretty obvious. And the side of the cab you can see, take a note of that as well. But also notice the profile of the water tanks here, they are very long. And also notice here he's got splashers over the front wheels. And I believe the splashers on the front wheels at least were something that was added just for Thomas. Okay, so let me bring in the locomotive that Thomas was based on now. Here she comes round the corner. Might take her a second to get into shot, bear with me. And this is of course the LBSC E2 locomotive, and the similarities between the two are remarkable. You know, the cab, let's have a look at the cab. You can see definitely the front of the cab there, the circular windows are very much the same, and you've got the side of the cab which is similar, but also notice there's no splashers here over the front wheels, and also the water tanks here on the brown engine are a lot shorter, but that's actually because two series of E2s came out, and the first series looked like this with very short water tanks, but they were a little bit naff because they didn't hold very much water. So the second series actually had longer water tanks, and that's just what Thomas has, as you can see just there. So there we go, that is the two Thomas locomotives, the real Thomas and Thomas's cousin, the E2. So yeah, I'm going to get these two running now. We'll just have one lap and then we'll move on to some more Thomas locomotives. Alright, Thomas first then, and the E2's going to chase. Well, Thomas has taken the lead. So yeah, obviously Thomas a bit more of an excitable engine. Okay, these two are going to stop then, and let's move on to three more Thomas characters. I'm going to stick these two into a siding somewhere and we'll build the siding up as we go through. Okay, so next up Henry's on his way, and of course Henry is green, but in real life Henry's counterparts were normally painted black, and in fact they were known as the Black Fives, as you can see here, from the LMS of course, designed by a guy called William Stanier. And yep, that is my Hornby one, and I think he looks very similar to Henry, this loco. So she's going to get out of the way, here we go, let me just move Henry, or the Black Five, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to move on and have a look at Duck. And of course Duck is green, and in real life too, the pannier tanks, which Duck was based on, were also green. So yeah, these are the pannier tanks designed by a guy called Charles Collett, and yeah, they too were green. And if you have a close look at her, you can probably see the resemblance to Duck there. I mean, Duck is very similar to this, very similar. There were lots of different types of pannier tanks, but I'm not entirely sure which one exactly Duck was based on. But we have a little bonus here, because at the back of this train, also from the Great Western Railway, is a Toad brake van. And I've always known this as a Toad brake van, but I didn't realise that Toad was a Thomas character. But yeah, that is what Toad was based on apparently as well. So there we go, a Great Western brake van. Okay, let me move Duck's train out the way a bit more, and we'll look at Harry and Bert. Now I don't really know Harry and Bert, but I'm told they look a little bit like this. Hang on, let me just stop her there. Yeah, of course Harry and Bert were diesels, and I believe they're based on the 08 shunter, but I have no idea what colours they were, so this is your test of Thomas knowledge. See if you can tell me what colour Harry and Bert are. But yeah, the 08 shunter came around in the 1950s I think, or the 1960s possibly at a push, and there were lots of these made, and they just pulled little trains very slowly, and yeah, they were very useful engines apparently. So let me start, well, we'll just call it Harry, shall we, for the sake of argument, and we'll start Duck and Henry as well, and we'll give them a lap. here we go then with Henry. Let me start Henry up. There he goes. And here's Duck then as well, the pannier tank. And there he goes. Well, I think old Harry's been left behind. I'm not sure where he's got to. We'll have to go and find him. Here he is, just coming out the tunnel. I think he's going to get lapped in a moment because he is very slow, but that's just like the 08s really in real life. They were very slow and quite powerful too, but yeah, probably quite realistic. Here's Henry and Duck then. Hopefully they're still together. All Duck's overtaken and Henry's just behind him now. Oh yes, Duck's racing off into the lead, definitely. Definitely a very quick engine, that one. Henry's just getting a little bit tired, I think, puffing and panting there. And poor old Harry, or Bert, is definitely a bit embarrassed right now. But never mind. And see if you can spot Thomas and the E2. I can't remember where I left those, but I think they're nearby. Right, I'm going to take these guys off then and show you the next three engines. So next we're moving on to Murdoch then, and Murdoch is a very big and strong orange freight locomotive. And in real life they were very, very big and strong, but they weren't orange, they were actually black like this one, although one of them was painted into dark green. So yeah, these are the 9Fs, they're very, very big, strong freight locomotives, built in the 1950s towards the very end of steam, and they had 10 driving wheels, as you can see. Yep, fantastic machines, really, really powerful, and Murdoch was one of them. So here we go, let me just move her out the way, and then we'll move on to Spencer. So in Thomas, you see Spencer as a very big silver passenger locomotive, and actually that isn't wrong, because the very first of this class of locomotive was actually silver, and it was called Silver Link, I believe. This one is blue, and this is a more common livery for it, and it's actually part of the fastest class of steam locomotive in the world, and Spencer was part of that. This one is Gadwell, but probably you'll be more familiar with Mallard, which looks just like this, but has a different name. There she goes then, let me move her out the way. Well, him, it's Spencer today, isn't it? There we go. And then finally we're going to look at Neville. Well, not finally, but on this set we're going to look at Neville. So here comes Neville now then. So Neville was based on the class Q1 of locomotives, and the Q1s were always painted black, I believe, just like Neville. And yeah, that is what Neville was based on, and they were very, very mighty locomotives. They were so strong, I think they were probably the strongest 060s ever built. And yeah, they came from the Southern Railway, designed by a chap called Oliver Bullard, and I believe the one in Thomas looks just like this, and they got it just about right, I would say. So yep, there's Neville, and I'm going to start up Spencer and Murdoch as well then, and we'll let them do a lap together. Here we go then. Okay, I'm going to start with Spencer first then, and I suppose I'll get Murdoch up as well. Go on, Murdoch. And let's see who wins this time. Well, it's Murdoch that's come out of the tunnel first. Don't know who's going to be next. Nobody by the sounds of it. Oh! So Spencer and Neville are drawing at the moment, it looks like. But of course in real life it would be Spencer that would be in the front by now, by a long way probably. And there we go, Murdoch's nearly lapped everybody. Very fast engine. There we go, he's just overtaken Spencer. Okay, I'm going to put these guys away and come back to you with another 3 locos from Thomas. Just waiting for Spencer now at the back. I think I must be taking Spencer quite slowly. But yeah, that engine can go fast, but he must be in a sleepy mood today. And there's all the other guys at the back, waiting for them. So next up then we have the Flying Scotsman, and that one's easy because I think he appeared as himself, didn't he, in the Thomas series. So here he comes anyway, you'll all know what this one looks like. Although it's only quite recently that he's been in it, I suppose. Just just move that back a bit. Yeah, a very famous locomotive, one of the first, I think, to go over 100 miles an hour. Or no, probably not. I think it was just the fastest before Mallard came along. And yeah, lovely classic locomotive, still around today, of course, very famous from the LNER. I'll move her out the way then, and I'll show you yet another character. Some of these are going to get a bit obscure now, but you'll have to let me know if you recognise them all. Okay, next up then, quite an obscure one. See if you can guess what this one is. This one is a 14XX, 14XX or a 1400 class. And this one is in sort of like a BR green livery, and they would have only appeared in BR green or maybe black. But I'll give you a little clue. The Thomas character was very light green, like a lime green colour. So yeah, that's enough clues. I'll have to tell you now because I've got to get on. This one was called Oliver, Little Great Western Engine, and this is basically what Oliver was based on apparently. So yeah, this one's an Airfix one. It's not a very nice model, but it runs okay, as you can see. So right, moving on then, yet another obscure one. See if you can guess this one. And this one is a tank engine known as the IVAT 2MT tank engine, and mine's black, of course, as you can see, in a BR black livery, but in Thomas I believe it was a red engine, so there's your clue. See if you can start guessing. So yeah, this was an LMS locomotive designed by Mr. IVAT, and it had the 262 wheel configuration, and it was designed for mixed traffic. And the character's name in Thomas was actually Arthur, and I don't know how well known that one is, but if you got that one, very well done. So I'm just going to get her out the way now then. Well, I'm going to start her up, and then the other two can get going, and we'll have another little race around the layout, just for one lap. Alright then, here goes Oliver then, the 14XX, and of course the Flying Scotsman as the Flying Scotsman. Let's see how they get on. And here they come. Looks like Arthur's in the lead, then Oliver, then the Flying Scotsman. I think I managed to get them at about the right speed. Yeah, the Flying Scotsman's just overtaking now, but the others are doing okay. As you can see, not bad at all. It's good fun just to run some trains, you know, even if you're not a Thomas fan. Okay, that's it for those then. I've got just 3 more, I think. I'll see if I can think of any more, but I think that's it. So yeah, 3 more and then we're done. So I'm going to stop these now and let's get to it. Next up then, it's the standard class 4, and this one I'm running today is a red one. Oops, just gone out of shot probably. But really in the Thomas series it would have been a very sort of Prussian blue, very light blue. And I don't know if they ever were blue. I think one of them was painted that livery in real life, experimentally, but normally I think there would have been black or green. Even red was probably not very accurate. But yeah, I'll tell you what it was then. It was Belle, and she was a girl engine, and yes, blue. And I don't really know all that much about them in real life, other than they were built by, was it Robert Riddles probably, during the BR era of British Rails. So anyway, I'm going to get this one out the way and show you the next engine, which is one I love personally, and he's been in Thomas quite recently in fact. And this locomotive is known as Rocket, although it's also known as Stephenson's Rocket, which is a clue for the character name, because it was designed by a guy called Robert Stephenson. And in Thomas, this is a very old and slow locomotive, which is true, even though it's called Rocket. The locomotive in real life is well over 100 years old, and it is pretty old and slow. But yes, a beautiful thing. I'll give you the character name. It was Stephen, of course, who was in the new series, I think, wasn't he, not that long ago. So yeah, Stephenson's Rocket. This is a beautiful model, although it is a very, very fast model. It isn't slow at all like Stephen was in Thomas. So I'm going to get her out of the way then and show you the last loco of the day, which again is quite a strange one. Okay, let me get her going. Oh, she needs a push, I think. There we go. Next up then we have Ryan, which was a purple locomotive, for passengers probably, and yep, he was purple, but in real life I don't think they were purple. They would have been green or probably black. And here's mine. This one's green, and this is the N2 locomotive, which was an 062, designed by the LNER and designed specifically by Sir Nigel Gresley. And they were fantastic passenger locomotives, just for small trains really, 2 or 3 coaches in real life. And yep, Ryan was based on one of those. So anyway, without further ado, let me start Ryan up, and then we'll get Stephen and Belle to run as well for one last lap round the layout. So here we go with Belle then. Oh, she's very quick. And of course Stephen, don't let him get left behind. And Stephen's taken the lead immediately. He's just flying off there. He's left the others behind well and truly. And there's Belle, and she's going fast, but nowhere near as fast as Stephen, and goodness knows where Ryan's got to. You just turn round. Stephen again. There's Ryan, trundling along at his own slow pace. Nothing wrong with that, bless him. So yes, Stephen is the orange blur. Okay, well that's just about it. I'm going to put these guys into a siding somewhere, well, into the siding. Then I'll show you everybody together, and then that will be it. So don't go anywhere, one last section. So there we go then, that's 15 of the Thomas characters looked at today, and I'm going to embarrass myself in a minute and try and name them all. But yeah, that's it. Don't forget I have a Thomas giveaway happening at the moment, where you can win your very own Hornby Thomas, as well as Annie and Clarabelle, so go and check that out. It's very easy to enter, you don't have to do very much at all, just leave a comment and subscribe. So that's fun, but for now then, okay, let me try and name them all. So easy first, we've got Thomas, Henry, Duck, Toad, we'll call that one Harry or Bert, Murdoch and Spencer at the back. Then we got Neville, the Flying Scotsman, that one's easy. What was your name? Come back to you. Arthur, Belle, Stephen and Ryan. What was your name? You tricky little thing. I forget, never mind. Okay, well that's it anyway. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave a like or even a comment. And you can also check out the Facebook and Twitter pages if you'd like to, and they're at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. And also, if you'd like one of your drawings or photographs to be put up on the walls of this railway room, you can send them to samstrains@outlook.com, and I will print them off and put them up for you, and you might just see them in a video. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers everybody.